Tennessean is to believe in.
No!
Tennessee is generally good with their interstates, and this is the reason Todd ranked the state S. For example, we get this sign here in Nashville, with Knoxville, Chattanooga, and Huntsville, all major cities that these three interstates go to, and I appreciate the fact that they do this sort of thing across the state. But, of course, there aren't just interstates here, there are US highways, and Tennessee seems to neglect them more. For example, we get this sign for East 26, US 19W, and US 23 southbound for Irwin. Irwin! You had Asheville on I-26 earlier. Why did you have to drop it? Asheville is the next significant place from here. Why are you signing Irwin along the way? No use. And further up, we get a mileage sign, and what do we get? Irwin. Only Irwin. 13 miles away. What is the deal? Tennessee. What are you doing? Where is Asheville? You should have Asheville on there. What is going on? Why are you doing this thing? Single mileage signs with a non-helpful place. Stupid.
Bad stuff on US 11. Here we're meeting 41, 64, and 72. And at this intersection, they do not mention US 64 and 72 at all. They completely neglect those highways. Ridiculous. I hate it. Why don't you mention US 64 and 72? And then a little further up the road on 11E, when we're leaving US 25W and 70, we get just Jefferson City on a mileage sign, when Morristown is not that much farther away and so much bigger than Jefferson City. Why don't you put it on there? Absolutely nonsensical. And then here in Morristown, when we're meeting US 25E, it gets no control cities at all here. Like, I'd imagine it'd be Bean Station, but they don't tell you that. And there's no mileage signs on 25E north of here to tell you that. So, I just have no idea what they're doing here at all. And it's absolutely stupid.
Here in Bean Station, US 11W is meeting US 25E, and US 11W northbound is signed for Rogersville. I feel like that should say Kingsport. And US 11W southbound and US 25E northbound are on a wrong way concurrency and are signed for Rutledge and Tazewell. Rutledge is basically nothing. Tazewell has about 2,000 people. So, if this is the case, you're being provincial, Tennessee. You should be signing Middlesboro underneath Tazewell, because that has over 9,000 people instead of 2,000 that Tazewell has. So, put Middlesboro on that sign. Rutledge has no reason being there. Ugh. Tennessee.
US 70 getting signed for Huntington and Waverly. No, you can put Jackson and Dixon on there. These should be the secondaries of anything, because those other places that I just mentioned are way bigger. Come on!
And then here is the end of US 58 at US 25E, and we can see 25E northbound is signed for Middlesboro, Kentucky, which is what US 58 should have been signed from Bristol. And US 25E southbound is signed for Harrogate and Tazewell. Again, if you're having two, Tazewell only has 2,000 people, but Morristown has way more than that. So put Morristown underneath Tazewell and remove Harrogate, because we're basically in Harrogate right now. What is going... Ugh.
US 641 meeting 412, a weird route in its own right, and west of here gets signed for Lexington, as opposed to Jackson, which is like 8 times bigger than Lexington. Again, like, putting a secondary on there, you know, Jackson, such a huge place for US route standards, and they completely neglect it. Now, I mean, I can kind of understand the Linden, because east of here on 412 there's not really much, but Jackson! Put Jackson on it! Like, what are you doing? Ugh, so stupid. Why won't we put Jackson on westbound? Ridiculous.
Here is the interchange, this time on US 25E northbound, and we can see US 58 is signed eastbound for Cumberland Gap and Jonesville. We are already in Cumberland Gap, and this is the Cumberland Gap interchange. Why are you so provincial? And Jonesville is a horrible choice. That should say Bristol. Bristol is basically the next significant place from this interchange on US 58. Why are you doing this? And once we get a mileage sign, Jonesville is the only place we get on this sign. Horrible! Why don't you have the audacity to put Bristol on there? Bristol is significant. Just put it on there. I can't even right now. I'm disgusted.
In Paris, Tennessee, US 79, signed south for Mackenzie. Alright, fine. I guess that works, I suppose. But then they signed Dover, northbound, when Clarksville is not that much further away, and there is really nothing else in between here and there. 170,000 people just getting neglected on this sign. Oh my goodness gracious, this is extremely provincial right here. Although, to be honest, I think this is actually not the most offensive sign on these highways, and oh, don't worry, we're gonna get to it here in a bit.
Here we get another stupid one-line mileage sign with only Lenoir City at 6 miles away. Tennessee, you need to step up your game and put multiple lines on a mileage sign. It's that simple. You need a significant city on there, put one on there. Lenoir City's not significant. Cleveland is a significant place for this route, so put that on there instead of Lenoir City. Ugh. Tennessee. So stupid.
And here we go, one of the worst signs in Tennessee. 64 and 45 west and north. Jackson Boulevard. Fine. Jackson is where 45 is going, and, you know, I talked about Jackson already. Yes, you should have it on the sign. But Boulevard, when Memphis is just like maybe like an hour's drive, hour and a half or so west on 64, again, really not that far to make a jump. When Memphis is huge! It's huge! Memphis is huge! And you could sign it here, but no, you go Boulevard. Oh, what is this tomfoolery going on here? And 64 East Savannah, when that is, again, just like right a couple towns over east on 64, where you could have Lordsburg, where it meets US 43, and is a lot bigger and also really not that far away. So yeah, I think this video should give you a better idea of what we're actually dealing with when we're talking about Tennessee. They are absolutely not one of the best DOTs at signing stuff, and Todd put them on a pedestal only because of their interstate signage, which isn't even perfect, and all this other stuff should be acknowledged as well.
So yeah, what Courtemanche said, Tennessee, you need to acknowledge this mess you've made and learn from your mistakes.